everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you. I'm going to talk quickly about the Fast and Furious 9 and the latest entry within the Fast saga, which has proven to be a massive success at the box office, grossing over 70 million at its opening weekend within the US cinemas. So obviously during the pandemic era, that's a great result in the current climate that we're now in. Now it did open to over 4,000 screens in the US, which is the standard release for so many of these big blockbuster films, but once again it shows that people are more confident now in coming back to theatres and enjoying these big movies on the big screen. Now, I've stated in previous videos that we've seen the precedents of the supposed comeback within theatres recently with the likes of Godzilla vs Kong, A Quiet Place 2 and The Conjuring 3. So I think overall that's great that we're seeing now these big movies enjoying much bigger success in terms of the box office results. And in previous videos when we've covered back the nature of the industry during this pandemic era, I've always been willing to give theatres as much as encouragement and a shot as possible to return to as close as they can to full capacity. Now we always realise that maybe we will never go back to how things were, but if they can come back as close as possible, then I think that's great for the industry and great for the entertainment overall, and great as well for pundits, commentators, YouTube personalities as alike. I think overall it benefits the industry much more if we can see these films coming back to prominence in theatres as well. Now we go back to Fast and Furious 9 and we still have to remember that despite the 70 million opening weekend, a lot of theatres in America are still in limited capacity. So a lot of them based within North America and Canada are still closed or opened in a very smaller capacity. So I think this is a great result, doing over 70 million at the box office, and many analysts have compared to the fact that Hobbs & Shaw, which came back in 2019, only grossed 60 million, and that was in the pre-pandemic era as well. So I think that just goes to show how well the performance has been overall for Fast and Furious 9. Now currently it's coming around just over 405 million globally. It did open in China a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's taken close to 170 to 180 over there. We all know that China is a huge territory for the Fast and Furious 9. That's where it really does most of its share in terms of its box office. It will soon overtake Godzilla vs Kong as the top grossing film throughout the year. So another reason for this is, like A Quiet Place 2, Fast and Furious 9 remained a theatres only release, only going to streaming 45 days after the cinematic release, and I think that's going to be the standard rule going ahead now for the majority of the film releases, in particular the Warner Brothers. If you remember, earlier on this year they announced the whole slate of their 2021 movies were going to be released simultaneously on cinemas and HBO Max. But I think going ahead for the future, the 45-day rule-in has been inputted in place for these cinematic releases, and I think again that's good. It's just giving cinemas a bigger chance to have some sort of success before it eventually goes on to streaming. So with all the recent success of Fast and Furious 9, it begs the question again, what about Black Widow? Now, we all know Black Widow comes out in a couple of weeks' time, and it will be on a simultaneous release on cinemas and on Disney Plus as well. I think it's due for release internationally on the 30th of June, and then it goes shortly after on the 7th of July on the US cinemas. Now, I've stated in previous videos that I've always felt that Marvel should have waited a bit longer in terms of putting forward the simultaneous release, and this was primarily backed up as the recent successes that I mentioned before of previous movies enjoying themselves at the box office. So if A Quiet Place and Fast and Furious can rake up very good numbers, I would say, opening weekend, then Black Widow, again being part of the MCU, for which there is still a lot of hype and interest in for the most part. Okay, it is a prequel. Yes, we do know already the fate of Natasha going ahead from Endgame, but there's still enough interest, I think, with Black Widow to generate, I think, a healthy opening at the box office if it had remained to theatres only. Now, that's going to be dented a lot by the fact that it's going to be simultaneous release on Disney Plus. Yes, it will come with the premium fee of $30, but the fact that we've had to wait over a year now for Black Widow, and a lot of people are still hyped up for Marvel content. A lot of people I can see staying at home and paying the $30 when it comes initially on release. I'd also like to question also the fact that they released the movie review embargo 2 weeks prior to the film's release. So the problem with that is that all of the hype from the reviews, which have generally been positive for the most part, that dies down. And then you have to revamp the hype again prior to its release. And it's already showcased 3 trailers overall for the movie. If you go on YouTube, you'll see there's been certain clips of the film now being released as well. So it's a difficult job to re-energize the hype after the fact that you've released the reviews so early. So I think that was a mistake as well. So we will wait and see what happens in terms of Black Widow. I estimate it could operate anything from 50 to 70 million at the opening weekend, but I still feel it could have maybe generated a bit more. Again, going back from the Fast and Furious 9 movie, which opened so well. Much like the MCU, the Fast and Furious is a box office certain franchise. We look at the past, so many of the installments have grossed well over $1 billion in the last 5 years or so. So it's no surprise again that it managed to generate very good box office returns in the pandemic era, despite the fact that it's had mostly negative reviews from many critics alike. So the fact that Black Widow has had more positive reviews than Fast and Furious 9, I think would have put it in good stead had it just remained a theatres only release, and I think it could have possibly got even closer to 100 million opening weekend, maybe 80 million, maybe even 90 million, and I think it could have achieved those good numbers, and I think that would have been a very good result for Black Widow overall. But we will wait and see what happens when that film comes out in 2 weeks' time. But overall, just I think a very good success for Fast and Furious 9 overall. It still shows that there's very good enthusiasm from the general public about the franchise, even though a lot of critics who have reviewed the movie recently feel that maybe the franchise has exhausted all of its really freshness and novelty that it showed, particularly from the Fast 5 release all those many years ago, and maybe things will come to a halt. But if it keeps making money, then they'll keep doing it, and I'm pretty sure it won't be too long before they see Fast 10. I believe they are filming or planning to film Fast 10 and Fast 11 back to back as well. So you think when people are more confident in coming to cinemas and more people are fascinated, then maybe Fast 10 will make even more money at the box office than what we're currently seeing with Fast 9 at the moment. So seen overall, just I think very good success point for the Fast and Furious franchise, and even more importantly, a very good barometer that hopefully theatres can come back close to full capacity, and we can see a lot of these more big event films enjoying a bigger success at the box office overall, which I think is very good for the industry in general. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings and quick thoughts on Fast and Furious 9 grossing over 70 million at the box office in the US. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think this proves, or what are the early signs that you think in terms of Black Widow? Can it gross the same amount? Can it even gross more amount because it's an MCU release and because Black Widow is a very popular character as well due to Scarlett Johansson's interpretation? Can it get close to 100 million, or do you think it will actually decline and maybe we'll only see maybe a 65 million opening weekend due to the fact that it's streaming simultaneously on Disney Plus? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Please also hit and like those subscription buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.